The Liberal Party's new candidate for the Northern Sydney seat of Bradfield says there's no internal war after she was pre-selected over a high-profile Conservative. Bradfield was the only Liberal seat to vote in favour of the Indigenous Voice to Parliament, and it's become a major teal target. With an estimated margin of 2.5%, the seat has always been in Liberal hands. New South Wales political reporter Julia Bradley spoke with key candidates.
The leafy North Shore electorate of Bradfield, which spans from Willoughby to Wahroonga, will be central to the coalition's chances of forming government. Former tech executive, lawyer and staffer Giselle Kaptirian spoke with Sky News for her first one-on-one interview since becoming the Liberal candidate.
From Paul Fletcher, Brendan Nelson, Gladys Berejiklian and Barry O'Farrell, Nick Greiner, I've been so lucky to be able to seek their advice and receive that local knowledge.
After the resignation of long-time member and former Coalition Minister Paul Fletcher, a string of current and former politicians supported the moderate in the ultra-marginal seat. Ms Kaptirian won pre-selection 207 votes to 171 against leading no campaigner for the Indigenous Voice to Parliament, Warren Mundine, who was backed by former Prime Minister Tony Abbott.
Has this pre-selection sparked a war in the party?
I don't think I've seen any evidence of that kind of war at all to date.
Her migrant story compared with that of a former premier.
My family's also from Jerusalem, like Gladys's family, and so and it is a story that is shared across not only Bradfield but across Australia. Coming to Australia because families, parents are making a choice that this is where they can make a better life for their families.
Teal independent Nicolette Buller, who won more than 20% of the primary vote last election, has mustered an army of volunteers along with Climate 200's War Chest for a rerun.
So we took a few weeks off after the 2022 election and kind of kept rolling, so we haven't really stopped.
Both candidates are focused on the cost of living and housing.
Do you support changes to negative gearing?
We have to look at immigration, we have to look at supply, we have to look at tax, a whole lot of things, because the housing crisis is real and it's hurting people in Bradfield now.
One of the most important things we can do that the Dutton government has already announced is really get our energy settings under control with the introduction of nuclear power.
The local mum with a background in clean energy and finance has a renewables focus, but appears less opposed to nuclear energy than some of her teal peers.
So I'm not anti-nuclear by any means. I just wish we might have started this conversation back in 1995. Unfortunately, the cost of living crisis and power bills are hurting now.
The recent abolishment of the neighbouring seat of North Sydney, which was held by Teal Independent, could weaken the Liberal Party's hold on Bradfield. Around 30,000 people who voted in that electorate will now vote here.
The Liberal Party.
Why?
Because they will help us with the cost of living.
Independent would probably be where I'd lean, and we're finding it incredibly hard just to work out a budget that's going to suit our family.
What issues matter to you most?
Common sense. Just common sense.
Julia Bradley, Sky News in the electorate of Bradfield.